It's again another beautiful beginning of the week in the Transformer world and tons of news to talk about. We are having the countdown to that of San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, which is going to be probably, not since the days of BotCon, the biggest weekend for reveals and all kinds of new Transformer product officially revealed by Hasbro. And as we're doing that countdown to San Diego Comic-Con, we have two items that have popped up recently, and we're going to discuss these today. One of these are a Studio Series listing, and the other one is something brand new for the Beast Wars reissue line. So let's jump into those. The first one we have here is Amazon France as well as Amazon UK have recently put up these listings for a Transformers Studio Series Deluxe class Last Night Crosshairs. Now, if people aren't familiar with her or don't remember, Crosshairs was a character that debuted in the Age of Extinction line. He turned into this really cool Corvette Stingray. I think it was the C7 model. He was this green one, really cool character, and one of the few, maybe it's just me personally, but one of the few shining moments of the Age of Extinction movie in terms of a design and a character. His deluxe toy was quite fabulous. I really liked that he had that little cloak kind of gimmick going on. Very, very unique engineering and how he was done. He was one of those few figures that I really wanted to go out of my way to pick up. Really good toy too. Had that, it suffered from shell forming a little bit, but he had his little guns. He was able to John Woo style double wield. Fun little figure. And throughout the years, they would use that mold from 2014's Age of Extinction line. They would use that mold over and over, and they'd repaint it for the Japanese movie Advance series. It would be in an Autobots Unite Platinum pack. They do a whole bunch of crazy stuff with that. And up to this point, the best version of Crosshairs that you could have gotten for your collection was the Premiere Edition from the Last Night's line that was available in 2017. That one I always felt was probably the best version of that character if you wanted to pick one. But now we have a Studio Series one coming. It's still a deluxe, so it's going to stay in that same price point that it has been all these years since his debut in 2014. But it's going to be probably, if I had to take a guess, a brand new mold. And I'm hoping with the way that the engineering has changed over the past couple of years, the brand new crew that is at Hasbro now and all the crazy stuff, I really think, in all honesty, that they could probably pull something off pretty spectacular. As long as they could kind of keep that trench cloak kind of, gimmick going on with him and still be able to maintain, what they've done with those previous molds, I think it'll be great. I mean, again, me personally, that premium one that we got in 2017 from the Last Night was pretty awesome. I mean, how much more could they improve it? I don't know, but I'm very curious to see, because what I got previously was already a really, really good job. I mean, they retooled it in the right areas. They gave it the correct paint scheme. Even the weapons were a little better than what we got before. It was just a pretty darn good figure. So I'm curious. I'm very curious what they're going to do, because that's going to be a tough one, because he was a really good figure already, and I really like to see what they would do to improve that. A lot of those movie designs, especially in the deluxe price point, there's always kind of room for improvement, but as long as you keep it within that, deluxe price point, there's the limitations of what could be done, and I felt that Crosshairs pretty much nailed it pretty well. Combined with the fact, and this is also a different kind of conversation, but now that we're going to have like movie characters also, not movie, video game movie characters also involved in our line, that also leads to the conversation of, well, Crosshairs could also be repainted into Age of Extinction Hotshot, which is, it's kind of like Crosshairs if he was colored like Trax, G1 Trax, but called Hotshot in the movie verse. And he was available in the Age of Extinction mobile game. So if they're kind of opening it up also to video game characters and stuff like that too, you could take that brand new Crosshairs mold that they're going to make, and you could turn it into a Studio Series Hotshot movie character, and you get that little Trax kind of flavor. So people who like Trax will also probably pick it up, and people who like Hotshots will probably pick that up. There's a lot going on with that one. I did a review of that old toy way back in the day. It's on the old Proto Retro channel, but still pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it because he was a character I enjoyed. He was a toy that I really enjoyed. So whatever they're going to do, I'm going to be paying attention quite deeply, and I'm very interested. We have no release date. Probably is going to be the modern MSRP that we have of $24.99. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully we'll get some more information in the future. Next up, we have a brand new Walmart Beast Wars reissue. Now, this comes courtesy of the Taiwanese auction listing that we had originally for Terrorsaur. It's the exact same individual that sold the Terrorsaur listing, so this is legitimate, and the image that is used is the actual stock photo for the final product. So, and when you compare this stock photo compared to the original figure, it is very different. So this is legitimately what we're going to be getting next and confirmed in a lot of ways. And who is that exactly? Well, quite the interesting choice of character. Let's talk about Beast Wars Transformers Vintage Reissue Deluxe Class, or in the Mega Class they might call it here, Retrax. And people are going, Retrax? Who's Retrax? So Retrax was this 1997 non-show character toy. And back in the day, in the early days of the fandom online, he was always voted the worst Transformer toy ever made. And more, even in so, the worst Beast Wars toy ever made. Very limited by his gimmick. He was a pill bug. And he was filled with gimmicks where he had spring-loaded mandible. He had a spring-loaded little tail weapon thing. He had all his antennas that were articulated. And he had a little gimmick that, like a pill bug, he could roll up into a ball spring-loaded. You push these two little buttons on his back and he could roll up into a ball. Now, that was all cool for the bug mode. Had all these little articulation, tons of articulated legs, articulated, antennas. Everything was going on with that beast mode that was fun. The second you put him in robot mode, he was pretty limited. Just because of all that spring-loaded gimmicks and stuff, he didn't really have much articulation outside of his legs and stuff. He had a hugging gimmick, which kind of goes into his Japanese name later, because of that curl-up kind of concept. And what they ended up doing is they took that mold, and when they did Beast Wars 2nd or Beast Wars 2 in Japan, they repainted him into an Insectatron. They called him Power Hug because of his hugging gimmick, and that was that. In fact, they were going to also use that mold and retool it at some point to be a Unicronian member for Beast Wars Neo, and that never happened. And it's funny because when that toy first came out, so many fans, and you have to understand back in 97, 98, we didn't have a Unicron figure. We had nothing of Unicron. And he had a very kind of Unicron look. He had the Unicron horns in his robot mode, and he transformed because of his pill bug gimmick. He transformed into a ball. So a lot of people were kind of painting it and retooling it and, customs into a little Unicron figure. And even Takara Tomy, or Takara back then, before Takara Tomy, saw that as some kind of potential for a Unicronian member. And he was going to be one, but that, the images are out there. There's little sketches of what could have been. But ultimately, in the end, it never happened. So we just had the original Retrax and the Power Hug repaint from Beast Wars 2. Now, he actually did recently appear in fiction if you actually got your little Kingdom trading cards, those peel to reveal trading cards, on Black Arachnia's trading card where she takes over the Predacons. Retrax is in the background there chilling. So I guess in a lot of ways we got a little, warning in advance. Hey, we're going to get a Retrax at some point. Might not be a new one, but we're going to get a reissue. So that's pretty cool. And, and again, he's been voted many years as one of the worst Transformer toys ever made. I think that he has a really solid beast mode with a lot of gimmicks, and then he's kind of hindered by his alt mode. But like everything else in life, as time passes, you kind of forgive some of the mistakes. He also has the honor of being the only Transformer toy to have a speed of 1, and he's one of the few only Transformer toys that have a firepower of 2. So he's also one of the weakest Transformers ever made, just in terms of his tech spec readout and stuff. So a lot of interesting historical stuff going on with Retrax. But I think they just want to put him out there, maybe get that trademark tied up, and then they could do something with it in the future. Maybe we could get a modern day Retrax to kind of make up for how weak his original toy was, and then we'll get a modern version in the future that'll be absolutely amazing with tons of articulation. But we will see. I mean, in all honesty, if you ever get a chance to pick up the original, pick it up, check it out. It's not a terrible figure. It's limited by what it could do. But that alt mode is still pretty cool. I like that the effort to make the gimmick did hinder the robot mode, but I understand what they were trying to do, and it was pretty fun. The only thing that I have here that I have to say is, well, it's going to be that new price point for deluxes for the Beast Wars stuff, $24.99. I'm pretty sure you could find a Retrax somewhere in the market for less than $24.99. No one is asking for that figure. So unless you want to buy him, mint on card, ironically, and then have a minty one, fresh from Walmart. And who knows, they might change the deco a little bit too, so it'll be a little different. That's also a case with these reissues, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm interested just because I kind of have a soft spot for this terrible figure and this terrible character, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, that's the only two pieces of news that we have today. Again, we're still doing the countdown to San Diego Comic-Con, so I'm pretty sure more stuff will be popping up. And of course, Friday and Saturday will be the big news, and then we'll have a crazy Saturday night live stream, and everything will be awesome. I'll talk to you again soon, guys. We'll see you laters.